You know, I'm surgical with this, Jay. I feel like training day, baby. We back. Oh, we back and it's real business going down, man. 2024, no cooldown has returned. We are back in the building, episode 81. I feel good, man. I feel good. Happy New Year to everybody who's listening in, tuning in. We're so glad you're here. Hope you had a great holiday season. But it's time to talk, man. It's a new year. It's a, you know what I'm saying? It's the dawn of a new age. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff to be had, but it feels good to be back. Feels good to be back. And of course, we are in the building with the podcast partner in crime, When Easy. He is here. What's happening, fam?
Chilling, man, chilling. Just happy to be in this new year. Happy to see all the things coming to fruition. It's gonna be a good year.
100%. It's definitely gonna be a lot of stuff is going down this year, man. I got a feeling, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not game wise in terms of like compared to 2023, it might not be as heavy, but I feel like it still be in the ballpark for one. And I feel like the news that we're gonna get across this year is gonna be crazy. So I think we're in for something still really, really good. Where we might be in a renaissance period, man. We'll really be in a renaissance period. And you know what I'm saying? We appreciate all y'all for kicking it with us during this period with all the news and everything that's swashing around and flying about. Thank you so much. We appreciate y'all. You know, just as the mission statement of the top of the year, man, we ready to get into it, ready to do a lot of great things, you know, bring a lot of great people, do a lot of fun stuff, and just talk about these games and show love. But make sure you guys check on the podcast on all audio podcast platforms. That's Spotify for podcasts, Apple Podcasts, you know what I'm saying, YouTube Podcasts, or YouTube Music, I think at this point. Again, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff. We are everywhere. No Cooldown Podcast, YouTube No Cooldown Podcast, Twitter No Cooldown Pod, TikTok No Cooldown Podcast, Instagram No Cooldown Podcast. OnlyFans, do not check that. We are not there. To leave that be. That is not us. Please report that. You know what I'm saying? We have not hit that point in time in the economy. We're still okay. We're not gonna resort to that just yet. But we appreciate y'all. Make sure I go show all those channels some love. Follow us, share the podcast and all the content around. We got a lot of stuff coming this year, so you guys do not want to miss it. Make sure you tap in everywhere. But without further ado, we got a lot of news to talk about. So when you ready?
Born ready.
Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Let's start off light, you know what I'm saying? Get our legs going, get the stretch back. So a former Activision executive has accused Activision Blizzard King of discrimination of, quote, old white guys, which includes allegations of comments from former CEO Bobby Kotick stating the problem at Activision Blizzard King was that, quote, there are too many old white guys. And there was a direct quote also attached to this here that I thought was hilarious. Apparently, a pair of white executives left the company based at least in part on Kotick's ageist remarks, and then they added that, quote, Activision placed profits over people by terminating the older, higher paid executives. Now, what? I had to laugh when I seen that statement. What do you think about the crazy discrimination going on against old white people in high paying executive positions in the gaming industry? How do you feel about that?
Good. I think if anything, they're not discriminated against enough. I don't know what, like, I would love to know what people were doing during times of crunch. Like, I think it would be a really cool art project would be if somebody took a picture of like a game developer in the middle of like a crunch week, right? Like on a Sunday at like 8 p.m. at the office. And then a picture of like these executives at that same exact moment in time. Because I would really love to know what they're doing when everybody else is hard at work.
That is literally how the other half lives. That's literally like those photos from like the 30s and shit I'm about to say, was it how the other half lives and stuff? It was like people in New York and stuff, and they show like the old black and white pictures of people in the meatpacking industry and just like people in squalor and all that. And I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah, like I would genuinely really love to know what y'all think you guys provide. Like I understand there's certain things you guys do. I'm not gonna say your jobs are pointless because you guys aren't CEOs, but I just need to know specifically what makes you think you deserve these high-paying jobs with these very lax schedules. Because I have been in meetings, they're not strenuous depending on the meeting, but I can tell by looking at what these developers are doing, that shit's a lot of work, right? So if you guys are getting weekends and bonuses, like I just don't understand how a company can lay a bunch of people off at the end of a cycle, and then still say like, I think we are distributing the money correctly. I think the money is not going anywhere the wrong way because we gotta lay people off. Like, that's just the business. I don't think that is the business, personally speaking. I think that there's some money that could definitely be put into better places. How's about we, keep people on? How's about we not give people millions of dollars? I don't think anybody in the company should make more than $1 million a year. Truthfully, unless everybody was making more than $1 million a year, then we can bring it up. But there's no reason that the developers or like the people who are actually making the game are struggling to pay rent and pay things when you yourself are taking private jets to like what's going on here, really?
Bro, it's baffling when you really think about it though, man, because again, this old white man who has been profiting off of the systematic, bounds of capitalism for the past however long in his old white life he's been in a position of power, he said, you know what, they're discriminating against us. There's a problem. They're targeting us, the guys that have made millions and millions and millions of untaxed dollars off of the hard works of regular working folk in the gaming industry. And to call us old and white, and there's too many of us profiting unfairly off of the work of so many hard hitting, press determined people who just have dreams of working in the gaming industry. No, that's unfair. Like, dog, it's the lack of awareness that kills me. It's the lack of awareness that kills me every time, bro. My man said Activision placed profits over people by terminating some of the people who have had the highest profits in the company for doing next to nothing. Like, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's like getting the right answer but doing the math wrong. You're not wrong.
Dog.
They do prioritize profits.
But then that last part of the sentence, buddy, that last part of the sentence right there, I think you missed something. I think you missed it.
You had us in the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Bro.
When he said that, I was like, okay. And then he said that, I was like, damn.
This always a catch, bro. And you know what? The worst person we know made an actually good point, man. He made a good point. Bobby Kotick was actually on the money with this one. And that's the part that sucks sometimes. People you don't like or know are not great people, sometimes they will make a good point. You gotta hand it up. In this particular one case, Bobby Kotick, he actually made a very good statement. Now, was it coming from a genuine like place of actual inclusivity and caring and an actual concern for the business as a whole and other stakeholders outside of the top people? Probably not. He was probably saying that in joke, or he just doesn't like the rest of the white people on the panel. You know what I'm saying? But it's still a good point and impact nonetheless. Like, there are too many of y'all. There are too many. You know what I'm saying? Let's hopefully hit a better stride of goodwill in 2024 going forward. But unfortunately, we might hear later in this episode, shit ain't starting off that way. It's not starting off that way. It's not, bruh. Well, we can move on to the next story here. Speaking on Street Fighter 6 in 2024, they have started off the year with a collaboration with Spy X Family, as they have some new avatar skins on Yor and Lloyd, a whole bunch of customizable options, poses, and the like that's coming into the game. Yeah, just a lot of good, collab stuff. Just the first one of the year, hot off the press. How you feel about this?
Don't care.
Nope.
Man, this could have been sick. Like, I think Street Fighter 6 has the right idea. I think their execution is really bad, though. I love Street Fighter 6, but I'm sure that a lot of people who are playing the game right now in 2024 are playing multiplayer. They're not playing with their avatar characters. Is it a cool thing to have? Sure, like having my character look like Lloyd, and also I don't know what the crossover is between the Spy X Family fandom and Street Fighter.
I don't know what the overlap is.
I don't know what the overlap is, but I'm sure some people are like, cool. Like, if I got the Lloyd skin, sure, I'll throw it on, but I'm not tapping into Street Fighter 6 to grind this out or to cop this day one. I like that. I like that they're doing a lot of collabs, and I like that they're doing collabs with with animes in general, because I do think that anime collabs have a place in video games, and even Street Fighter, had you did a collab with something, they did a collab with Baki, I believe, but again, these collabs just aren't they're not doing the things that you would want them to do. Like, you want more than just an avatar skin. I want to be able to play as like Lloyd as one of the characters. That would be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine Jamie who drinks, right? If he had a Rock Lee skin, like, and it looked like Rock Lee instead of people modding it. Like, oh, cool, Drunken Fist Rock Lee. Everybody knows that's iconic. People are gonna be playing Jamie out the wazoo, but instead, we get this. Who to have it? Don't really care about it though, unfortunately. I can't wait to see the more collabs. I hope they get more aggressive with what they do with these collabs, because I think like they're not giving the power that these collabs could. Like, these collabs have power. There is power in this, and they're just not doing anything with it. Like, when Fortnite puts Goku in the game, you can use a Kamehameha. I'm not saying change up the way a fighting game is fundamentally played, but you got to know where to slot things, and it doesn't feel like they really do. They kind of just throwing this in here and being like, hey, look at us, we know you like this, come on bro, come on, it's Spy X Family, bro, please, come on, you like this, right? Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, that's difficult to do. And you bring up a good point with that, like the level of execution. How does Street Fighter implement collaborations that are lasting? You know what I mean? Fortnite can do it easily. You drop a skin, you know what I'm saying? Their presence doesn't fundamentally change, you know what I'm saying, a meta for the long term. For the short term, again, you can add powers, you can add, you know what I'm saying, little mini game modes, you can add locations on the map. Those things are additives, you know what I'm saying? They don't change the fundamental base formula of the game. They're additives on top, which again, they just enhance what you're seeing and you know who they're bringing in and stuff. But for Street Fighter, there's not as much leeway with what they can do, you know what I'm saying, in terms of that, and they might change up the core meta. Like, oh, imagine they brought Yor and Lloyd as like full-blown characters in the roster. You know what I'm saying? That would have been crazy, amazing. But I don't know how that changes what meta, you know what I'm saying? The FGC might be losing their damn heads, like, what the fuck we gotta do? Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what that could change potentially. So there's that tightrope that they kind of have to walk. So I understand, you know what I'm saying? I understand there being that little bit of kind of like hands off, a little bit like a distance between what we might want to see, you know what I'm saying, more deep, I guess, integration of the collaboration. But I feel like there's got to be some type of happy medium. Like, maybe you add, like, you know, their characters into the World Tour mode. Maybe you add more of like specifically move lists or specific moves that you can buy or add in the World Tour mode, and so people can go back and, you know, interact with them or have a little side story or something like that. That could be a good way to do it, you know what I'm saying? At least in my view, you know what I'm saying? Like, having that move sets that are, you know, can be, you know, purchasable or something like that, not with actual points, but like SP coins or whatever the fuck that they're called in the game. Something like that, where there's some deeper, it's like a step deeper. You have to take a step deeper beyond just the skin, beyond just the pose and stuff like that. There's got to be something a little bit more, you got to grasp onto it a little bit more is what I'm saying. There's got to be something that's a little bit more long lasting in that sense. And the skins are cool, but it's an avatar skin, and, you know, for people again who are just playing, you know, they're playing ranked, they're playing with actual roster characters, not their created characters, there might not be enough like shelf life for it to be seen as a viable collab or a very fruitful collab, you know what I mean? So yeah, they just got to kind of go back to the drawing board after this one. I like that they had the access to do things like this and bring different IPs in, but now it's just reworking that formula to see what can actually be done to make this more long lasting and enjoyable for the fans. Because, you know, a skin is a skin, cool, people are gonna like it when you put it on, you know what I'm saying? But how much utility are people gonna get out of that collab once it's done? Because you know what I'm saying, Fortnite's the prime example. They're the standard bearer of this stuff now. I remember the Thanos collab when, you know what I'm saying, the Thanos skin drop, the whole backpack bling and all that stuff, and you had the Infinity Gauntlet randomly placed on the map, and you could do crazy stuff with it. Like, I don't expect that level of depth from Street Fighter, because the gameplay loop is so stringent sometimes, especially with main roster characters, and you can't really change the formula or the balance or the metas or something like that. But somewhere on the far side of that ballpark, can you implement a move or a place in the World Tour map, or a little, you know what I'm saying, set of content pieces that are a bit longer lasting than just the skin?
Yeah, and it's just something that, like, I think a lot of the people, the Street Fighter community, is kind of frustrated with, is just like, you're giving us, like, it's not like when Fortnite drops the skin, because you could play as Goku and you'll see yourself as Goku the whole time. Like, you use a skin for like a lot of other things, but like when Street Fighter does it, it's like you're essentially using this skin in a loading screen. Because I don't even use when I play Street Fighter Online, I don't even load into the place that lets me see my custom character. I'm usually in the training lab before my fights so that I can make sure I'm landing my combos. That's what sucks about it. It's like you really Avatar thing is cool. I think Avatar stuff should be included in these collaborations. But if you're not dropping a Chun-Li your skin, why are we even having the conversation? Why is this even a thing?
100. There's got to be a bit more oomph to it, in my opinion.
Yes,
so yeah, we'll see what they got cooking down the line, but that's that right now. But moving on to the next story here, we got a lot, again, out the gate of 2024, there's a lot of rumors swirling around. We got to address one of them here. According to a lot of insider reports, Nintendo has been speaking with at least 3 different independent studios to add to their partnership roster to make games based on Nintendo franchises. Now, we've seen this, of course, with a lot of different other studios beforehand, where they came in, they like the Mario Rabbids games or something like that. They kind of loan out their IPs to see who can make something a little bit different outside of Nintendo's usual wheelhouse. And it seems like there's going to be a lot of uptick for that now. So let me hear your thoughts on this. Who could be some good fits? And I guess what you might want to see.
Ooh, good fits is an amazing question. But I do want to say, firstly, Raging Rabbids. Crazy that I'm saying this in like 2024. If you'd have told me that I was gonna love these rabbits,
hey man,
when I first saw them, bad boys, I'd be like, you're tripping. But nah, those games are pretty heat. They didn't know Ubisoft. That might be one of the few Ubisoft franchises that I'm actively like, this is gas. I hope they make another. Like they cook with those. And we also seen them do things with Star Fox, but of course they did it with like some stupid ass like, oh, buy the model thing or whatever. Like it's dumb. Anyways, what I would like to see, what companies I think would do well. I mean, we all know Insomniac would absolutely like deep fry it. Their movement-based games are just absolutely absurd. I can only
100%.
imagine what they would do with a 3D Mario game. Like that shit would be fucking bananas. Other companies outside of like Insomniac, I feel like Insomniac is such a cop-out answer that I don't even want. I want to pick something else because it's like we know that they would make really, really fun games. I can't imagine them giving it to Sega. Like that's just too close of a rivalry.
But they've done stuff with Sega before, I'm pretty sure.
No, they collab with Sega all the time, but I don't know what game they would give to Sega that they couldn't do themselves, right? Like when I think of Sega games that Nintendo doesn't do, it would be something like RGG Studios, but like imagine a Yakuza game with freaking Link. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be so random where it's like he's just walking down the streets fighting people for no real reason with a crazy convoluted backstory. Like there aren't many studios that can do the Nintendo thing, I feel like, and I could just be missing some, but like I'm also like in my brain is just shooting out like publishers and not really developers. But Insomniac, easy dub for them. Actually Santa Monica doing like a Legend of Zelda game would be beautiful. I think it would be gorgeous.
That would be hard.
I'm trying to push away from like Sony companies.
You know who would be crazy and also ties into a lot of stuff I've been seeing lately, and again another story that we'll get to a little bit later. Give me Tango Gameworks, the people who made Hi-Fi Rush, the people who made The Evil Within 2. I think that, again, they're independent enough, and I've said this before on the podcast, and I'll say it again. They're one of the most thematically flexible studios on planet Earth. I think to go from The Evil Within 2 and then to go to a Hi-Fi Rush and to have all these like different games a part of your, your wheelhouse, the Ghostwire Tokyo, you know what I'm saying? To have that level of range is insane. But I feel like they have enough depth in them to create something good in the Mario world. That to me, I feel like, especially with Hi-Fi Rush, with how fitted, you know what I'm saying, that game looks in style and flair to a Nintendo type game, I feel like that's a really good fit for them. I don't know what franchise exactly, but they could do something Nintendo with the ease, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they definitely could do something. I think they could definitely cook. It's just also tough because like every company that I think like would do something really cool, like they kind of already work with, because it's like, oh, what about Platinum Games? They've worked with Platinum Games multiple times.
They just got to do another Astral Chain if that's the case. I'm about to say, we used to work with them.
Yeah. Oh my god. And I wish I had that game till this day. I sold it because I thought the game was laggy as hell, but I realized it was my it was my capture card. It wasn't the game. Like I was like, bro,
yeah.
so bad when I realized it because I was like playing it on my capture card, but I was playing it through the preview, not the actual screen. I was like, this game is so laggy, and then I realized no, it's my input delay. I'm dumb. But no, Astral Chain was such a good game. Oh no! I was gonna say, what if we had like a Kingdom Hearts spin-off where they go into the Nintendo world?
Bro, that will be hard.
They've already worked with Square Enix, so it wouldn't even be like
it's
a
open.
crazy departure.
The line is open.
It wouldn't even it wouldn't be so. It could be somebody in a different shit. You could alternate universe. You could be like, hey, similar story, different people, like a Star Wars type shit, in a galaxy far, far away type vibe. Like you could go crazy. That would be a lot of fun.
Bro, I need to see a party of Sora, Goofy, and Waluigi just getting shit in.
Like, bro, imagine, because like the main character, now we're over here making the game for them, but like the main character obviously originally created or whatever. But I think like we get Luigi, because Luigi I feel like would be the Goofy in this scenario. So it'd be like Luigi. I want to say Kirby, but I feel like Kirby's too big. I feel like Kirby would deserve his own world, right? It has to be like a side character that has, so like Luigi, because Mario would have his own. Mario would be Mickey. So like Luigi would be Goofy. I'm trying to think of what would be Yoshi. Maybe would be Donald. Like I can see that kind of. Maybe Daisy, another option.
I can see that.
But then I don't want to put Daisy below Peach because she's also a princess. Like, you know, we would figure it out. Hey, Nintendo,
hire us, bro. You know what I'm saying? No Cooldown Consulting is still open for business, bro. We're still stronger than ever in 2024. If y'all need some ideas, we here.
Call us and then loop in Square Enix. Let's get on a conference call.
Facts.
We'll zoom it up. It's gonna be great. We'll
Facts.
Put the whole thing together for you guys. Oh man, and then we get a couple cameos. You know, no Cooldown folks. We can be fairies or something.
You know what I'm saying? Let me get in there. I'll be Jiminy. I'll write a journal. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I'll be like, we could be like the angel and devil on the guy's shoulder or whatever. Like, let's listen. We'll talk.
Yeah, don't worry. The audience don't even know about this stuff. It's business talk. Don't worry about that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry.
when you see me in some credits, hey, just know we did that shit.
100. But yeah, I think there's a lot of studios that can you know what I'm saying, of course, take the mantle on, but it just depends on the right fit. There's a lot of franchises in Nintendo's wheelhouse I feel like could use some love. Again, the Star Foxes, Kid Icarus. I ain't even seen a Kid Icarus thing in a minute. Yeah. Somebody could probably take that on. F-Zero is probably another one that's off the top of my head. F-Zero, because some racing people can take that and move it to a whole different level. You know what I'm saying? Who's a racing company from EA? Is it Criterion? Was it Criterion? I think it's Criterion.
I don't know if I would want Criterion to do an F-Zero game. It would have to be somebody like, I'd have to find a game that's similar to it, but like Criterion I think could cook. Like not to say that I don't think that they would cook, but there's like, I feel like there's a better company out there that I'm just blanking on right now. Because I would want, if it's an F-Zero game, I want that shit to be hella fast paced.
Yeah. I hear it. Let me get a Mario Party from Kojima Productions. Let's make that shit spooky as fuck. Let's do it.
I would love Kojima to write a Legend of Zelda game, like a Majora's Mask type vibe. Like I would love.
That would be insane.
That would be amazing.
Link existential crisis in some random ass room that just keeps changing shape, like the Master Sword room, but it changes slightly every time, and then it just warps out.
Like the Master Sword would say the same, but I feel like he'd be like, you'd have to use like a different sword at the beginning of the game that like fucking, I don't know, like has the souls of the people you killed or something. It's gonna be bananas. Like when you play Death Stranding and you realize like how all this shit is, why it is and how it is, you're like, oh, this shit is dark and weird as fuck. Like it's so good. Anyways,
that's the rabbit hole. It changes you.
To not go down the Death Stranding thing, I would love to see like a Kojima Legend of Zelda type game, but I also feel like I'm missing some franchises that Nintendo has that hasn't utilized. Because even like a Kid Icarus with Kojima, like a Fallen from the Sky, gotta make your way back up. I don't know. Oh wait, A fucking Kojima Fire Emblem game? Hey man, all right.
Hey,
we're
that
done with
would
this
be
conversation.
yeah. Nah, hold on. That's kind of let's not get too deep in the weeds. We give away free game. It's free game. It's free game. It's free game. No free clout. No free clout, man. You gotta pay us for that. We won't put that behind the Patreon, boy. You better stop playing with us. Anyways, we can move on to some other news here. Remember that conversation that we had earlier with 2024 has been wilding so far. We're continuing that. So basically, literally, at the same breath that they announced a lot of expanded broadcasting options, Twitch is basically said that they're set to lay off 500 people. Literally, as we're recording this, people are probably getting the news. Over 500 people, are set to be laid off from Twitch, Amazon Video, I believe, Amazon Movies, and Prime. I believe there's going to be cuts across all those organizations, and just another one in the continued trend of just right sizing and trying to chase profitability in the eyes of Jeff Bezos. Unfortunate, man. I feel for everybody who's been affected by this stuff, but yeah, just any words on it, Win?
It's awful. I really do feel bad for all the people who are involved, and hopefully you guys can land on your feet. Yeah, like it's sad to see. And as a content creator, you should be aware of these things because this is the platform that you are on. And just pay attention to this because this also isn't even like the last we're gonna see of these layoffs. Like,
absolutely not.
It's going to get worse before it gets better. But hopefully it gets better soon. Yeah,
and it just to step out of the gamer shell for a minute and just talk from a broader perspective. It just sucks to see corporate greed work so hard in real time because of corporate greed. They brought on so many different people, bought so many offices, expanded so much operation because of, tax breaks, PPP loans and all stuff throughout the pandemic. They thought they could expand operations like crazy. And now that a lot of the byproducts of, certain things have happened in the market and, in recession stuff's going on a bit of a downturn, the same people who have been expanding like that, they kind of just cut it out just in the sake of, hey, we kind of overcalculated. We got to get right. So we're going to cut all you people off. That just doesn't sit right with me from a personal perspective. Yeah, business, of course, you can see the outcome, but I don't care about that outcome. I care about people. I care about, people making their livelihoods for one and making the entertainment content, the entertainment space, the art space, whatever you want to call it, a better place. That's what I care about. And the fact that a lot of these people are getting laid off, it sucks. It sucks, man. Like, I feel for them, man. I echo what Wen said. I hope everybody just land on their feet, but it really is a pain in the ass to see late stage capitalism just work so swiftly to screw people over, and again, still cater to the very discriminated group known as the old white executive in the gaming industry. It's just annoying. It's very, very annoying. Yeah, and that's all I got to say on that, man. Head up to everybody being affected by this stuff. Moving on, some other news here. So speaking on, somebody who's been turning a corner, Sega has a new CEO of America Europe that seems to be a part of this big shift in energy for the company recently. Shuji Utsumi. He is leading the charge now. He's the CEO. He's now in seat, and he may just be gaming's most interesting executive. Honestly, look at his track record. Look at this. Listen to this, y'all. He had a hand in the PlayStation 1 launch, the Dreamcast launch. He was heavily involved in the creation of Kingdom Hearts from the Squaresoft days. He was a project manager on Sonic Adventures. He was a big player in getting the Super Game project for Sega and the recent revivals that we heard about from Sega up and running. And now he's at the helm. He's running the show across America and Europe. So, I mean, what does Sega's future look like with him? And how does Sega stand, moving forward with this, Wen?
I think this is going to be really good. So my favorite thing about Sega, at least when it comes to the Yakuza games that I've noticed, is that I feel like they are trying to make video games where like everybody else is trying to make masterpieces or money machines. Like they're still very much having the same. When I play like a Dragon game, it still feels like I'm playing like a 90s game. They're not trying to be the most. They're not trying to do like all the cinematics have zero cuts. Not trying to shit on like God of War or anything, but like they're not trying to do that. They're trying to make a video game you're gonna play, enjoy, have fun with, laugh at, cry at parts. Like they're trying to make just a good video game. And this seems like a good video game CEO. Like this seems like everything that on the track record is like low-key gaming history. Even like things like the Dreamcast that weren't commercially successful.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people still have a lot of love for the Dreamcast.
That's still history,
like,
bro. Dreamcast was still cool. Serious business though, man. Like damn.
Like Sonic Adventures, not the best game, but it's still one of the best games, if that makes sense. Like if you know, like you're just one of those like
that's a historical landmark, bro. Like that's a notable one of the first point of references to gaming.
Like you're not gonna sit here and say like it might not be your top 10, but to somebody that shit has a lot of fucking meaning. So I think that this is a really good step in the right direction. Hopefully, and the thing is, I don't think Sega's really in a bad spot this year. The only time that they've kind of fumbled was really just releasing Sonic when Mario did. But they announced Sonic, I think, before Mario was announced. So they could not have possibly known. But at the same time, like that's like the only fumble. And even then, that game is still good. It's a good game. Yeah. It's just when it was released. I think Sega's in a really good place. And I think him as a CEO, we may be seeing some good shit coming out of this. Like I think we're in a good space. Like I would have been afraid if it was kind of anybody else.
Nah, 100, man. It's just excuse me. Yeah, beyond. I think it's honestly really like crazy to see. You know what I'm saying? We don't hear too much of executives until after the fact when they're in the role, and then we get more of them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, we don't hear about their track records beforehand. You know what I'm saying? We hear very little of it. But for his track record to be so extensive, for one, and two, still be very active in this space after that long, too. And you know, he's taken, you know, more upfront roles. He's been actively involved in stuff from beforehand, you know what I'm saying, with Sega. But to me, it's a good sign. To me, to see where he's been and what he's had a heavy hand in, that is good things. Again, I gotta pay homage because he had a hand in creating Kingdom Hearts, literally my favorite game series of all time. So that's already like bonus points in my book. He's already up like 10 points. You know what I mean? But to be a part of things that are very, very pivotal, and not even looking at the past, but looking at right now, he had a heavy hand in bringing all the Sega revivals back. Again, Crazy Taxi, Streets of Rage, Shinobi, Golden Axe, the things that we all saw and got hyped over and stuff like that. Shout out to our reaction that's on the No Cooldown YouTube channel right now. You know what I'm saying? youtube.com/@NoCooldown. Go check that out. Good views. So it's just that level of involvement in the now, seeing the trajectory that Sega can be on now, that's really encouraging. That's very, very encouraging. So looking where Sega can go once these remakes come out, I hope they come out in flying colors. They're looking really good and they feel really good, so people can take to them. So we can have that. What else do we need? I don't even deal with Shenmue like that. So you can keep that. I know some older people are gonna be like, why are you talking about Shenmue, bro? Bring Shenmue back. My fault, y'all. My fault. I ain't mean it like that. But again, just keep pushing on with the Like a Dragon series. I would love they somehow got the rights to Jet Set Radio. I'm about to say another Jet Set Radio after that. Just lead with that. Give me more. I want Jet Set Radio. What else is in their wheelhouse? I don't think they have too much stuff. Do they have Beautiful Joe? They don't have Beautiful Joe, do they?
I think Beautiful Joe might be Capcom.
I'm thinking something else. I'm thinking like Virtual Fighter or some shit like that.
Yes, I think Sega does have Virtual Fighter. I don't think we're ever getting that, but they do have the rights to. I think Jet Set. We are getting a new Jet Set Radio. Yes, we are. I'm talking about. I just know. I'm in another one after that one, bro. I'm just keep that joint coming. Keep it rolling, bro. We'll take it. We'll take it, baby. We don't need fucking $70 Jet Set Radio either. Like, just if you give us new maps, new songs, like cool shit to do, like the community will be happy. Yeah, 100, man. And I'm pretty sure they have rights over Persona stuff, right? I believe they do own Atlas, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So and then that's a whole nother wheelhouse with that they can dive into. I think they're in a really good way. I think again for Sega it was just Total War, and they do own Persona. Yes. Yeah. For Sega it was just. We have a lot of old IPs and there's a lot of good stock in those old IPs, and now they're bringing them all back in force. So I think they're in a good way, and I feel like the CEO is gonna instill a lot of the momentum that they need, and he's already proven it with the remakes and all the talk and the momentum behind that. I think it's only gonna just keep rolling further. I think Sega's in for a good year. No, for sure. They're gonna be man. They have been in really good. Them and Capcom, they know how to they're not necessarily changing the ocean when they drop their games, but their fans are happy.
Mhm.
I as a Sega fan am happy with my I mean, would I like my Total War games to have way less DLC? Yes. But are they gas as fuck? No. But I do like the game a lot, so I'll buy it anyways. Like, as a Sonic fan, you got some heat. Persona fans are gonna eat. Like a Dragon fans, we're in such a good place. I'm sad to see January leave, because once we get Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, we don't know what else to look forward to. But they said they got more announcements. I cannot imagine what else they could bring. But yeah.
Hey, man.
Football Manager fans,
hey, you know,
sure, I don't know anything about that.
Football Manager is amazing. I barely understand it. I try my best, but like it's so good. It's so good. And Football Manager's always been a good game, a good series. Again, which has actually spawned people who are managing football now. Again, for any football fans in the world, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say the Will Still thing again, but yeah, like there's actual managers who are like coaching now in big leagues that have played Football Manager directly and have learned from Football Manager. So like they're always goated. They always have stock in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, shit, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But Sega seems to be ready for a good break, and this, you know what I'm saying, this new CEO looks like he's gonna start bringing it that way. So solid stuff. Moving on here to a big topic which spawned like a 20-minute conversation before this podcast even started. After all this hoopla with the SAG-AFTRA actors strike and all the demands and the back and forth and the picketing and stuff for months, the union and entertainment industry seem to have agreement to keep AI usage away from everything in the industry that touches actors, except for video games, because Replica Studios unveiled their new voicing agreement with SAG-AFTRA, basically saying, hey, we now have some way to provide some, AI usage, some generative AI usage for voice acting. They've been touting this ethical approach to this method, this usage, this new way to create content and voicing, work in the gaming industry. And it just feels a little bit off, it feels a little bit iffy to me personally, but they've announced this. The SAG-AFTRA said it's a great deal, it's a great system apparently. But how do you feel about them announcing this deal for AI usage in the gaming industry?
I hate the fucks at the SAG-AFTRA. I loved what you guys were doing when it came to your own people, but like this whole it's not gonna affect us shit is kind of ass. It is really ass, and it's gonna be. I just don't know why you think it's okay for it to affect other things. I don't know if it was a negotiation tactic of like, hey, we'll let you do it in video games if you let us. Like, you're giving them an inch, but they're gonna keep taking. You shouldn't give up any ground on this shit at all, to be honest with you. I don't know, even as a negotiation tactic, if you were like, we'll get your money, but you gotta let us do the things on the video game side. Like, why would you say yes to that? Because in a couple years, when this happens again, you're gonna keep giving them more inches. You don't need to. You could just say no to that shit too. And to do this for it just doesn't make any fucking sense. On top of that, nobody really wants AI generated shit. Like, AI generated shit is like, it's cool to the people who don't have money to pay for an artist. Like, and that's fine if you're using it for like small BS shit. But at the end of the day, I cannot imagine an AI generated like anything that would be better off AI generated than asking a real person to do it. Like, there's no voice acting. Even the final shit sounds robotic. The shit is ass. And when you talk to real voice actors and they say any excuse they have about this shit being difficult, it's not difficult, because voice actors are doing full video games in their closets. A lot of them have fucking the equipment at their crib. They can do it, and they can do it. You just don't want to pay the people. You want a computer to do it. It's so dumb. Honestly, SAG-AFTRA, swing and a miss on this one. You guys are fucking idiots. Get your shit together. And yeah, no, like, leadership is awful. And this isn't the first time people have said the leadership of SAG was, but like, obviously you can't talk about the leadership of the people you're striking with until after shit is done. But yeah, this is a huge step backwards.
Yeah, and you've hit that, and I wanted to hit on something else related to this. I feel like we'll never or almost never hit the point where gaming is seen as just as viable as an art form as actual in the flesh acting or TV or movie acting at this rate. I'm sorry, from this, it just shows you how the rest of the SAG-AFTRA feels about video games. And to me, that's a clear sign of, oh, you know, you can't touch movies in AI acting. You can't touch TV in AI acting. You can't touch the voiceovers and commercials and all this stuff. Video games, have at it. Nah, you're good. You know what I'm saying? We can find a way to see if this works out. We'll take your word for it. This might be a pretty ethical way to do it, I guess. But it's just, I'm like, do you guys not see the equivalence in people in your own organization? And again, it's crazy to see because truth be told, I may have heard this, or you know, this may be a rumor, I don't know, but gaming is literally the most successful, the biggest art form in the world. And it has been for a couple of years now. It has been for a few years, and it's going to continue to be. So shortchanging and kind of leaving it like the redheaded stepchild, like that's not good. That's not good. And it just kind of, it goes back into this whole rhetoric about the rest of different art forms seeing video games as reductive or not as matured or not as viable as an art form as everybody else. Again, we were talking about it before the podcast, and I'll bring it up again. It was kind of a one-off example, but it kind of led to a bigger argument type of thing. Now, Neil Druckmann was at the Golden Globes and stuff like that. He was in the red carpet, and he wasn't getting no flicks. He wasn't getting no photos snapped of him or something like that. And people were making fun of him. People were picking jokes and stuff like that. And that's a whole nother separate issue. That's a whole nother thing. But one part of it, somebody brought up a good point on the timeline. There was like, you know, throughout all the work, throughout all the, you know, the groundbreaking or, you know, whatever things he has done or you know, what he's been attached to has done, there's still that distance. There's still that distance of, oh, you know, video game people are still trying to appease or get into the Hollywood spaces and into these big things. And it sucks. It sucks to see video games still kind of like little broed. It's little bro because we're a new art form. Cool. But you got to respect the fact that it's equivalent. It's an equivalent. I don't care what anybody says. This as an art form is equivalent. And I feel like this definitely like has been of course it's been a recurring thing. You think about stuff like the Game Awards, getting all these Hollywood actors and stuff to come in and do little bits and speak on, you know, the Jeff Keighley getting them in to speak for awards and present and nominate stuff, blah, blah, blah. This that happened, the SAG-AFTRA strike, you know what I'm saying? The Neil Druckmann on the red carpet and stuff. It's just this gap that I feel like we'll never fully get over because there's just the stigma around video games not being a viable art form. And that part annoys me. That part annoys me beyond the obvious. People in video games, voice actors are getting shafted. You know what I'm saying? People who work hard to bring you great voices and great perspectives and characters on a variety of games, titles, whatever you want to have. They're just getting, you know, potentially getting screwed over. We don't know what this thing could bring. We don't know the side effects of this thing could bring, just because technology's been hand in hand with gaming from the beginning, from the inception, you know, really, or at least has been publicly perceived as hand in hand with technology. It doesn't mean it's open season for AI to come in and change the landscape on what actors are working so hard for. That could change their entire life. That could ruin what they've built. That could you know, alter their business model and how they put food on their table. So it's messed up, bro. It's messed up on all different levels.
It's awful, and they're gonna look stupid because as we've seen, a lot of actors, a lot of people in Hollywood are starting to take interest in video games. When things start to, when people get hired to do these video games, and they're like, yo, let's bring Anthony Mackie to do blah 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 for the video game number 1. And then video game number 2 comes out. They're like, actually, we're not going to use you anymore. We're just going to use your voice, an AI generated version of it, and just put you in the second game. Motherfuckers going to be pissed. And it's going to be funny as shit trying to watch you guys have to argue, well, we don't want to do this anymore. You guys got to take that out. Like, sure, bro, you already gave them that. You gave them that leeway. Have fun. Have fun telling a big company that they're going to have to stop cutting corners. Enjoy that conversation. I will not be there for that.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I just don't understand the logic behind it. Like, if you're gonna do a strike for video games, if you're gonna tell the SAG-AFTRA, if you're gonna call a strike earlier last year or later last year, whatever it was, they're like, oh, we're doing a video game strike. These games you can't support, blah blah blah, and you turn around and screw them over in the same breath. Like, what sense does that make? How did you call a strike for everything else? You want them to join your plight, you know what I'm saying? Which makes complete sense. You are right in saying, yo, you guys are a part of this fight too. Come on, join this. Let's strike. These games can't be talked about, blah, blah, blah. And the top, not even 10, 14 days into the new year, not even 2 weeks. And you man said, yeah, this AI agreement for gaming, the people that helped us, well, they got AI on their stuff now. So what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so backwards. It's so backwards, and it's annoying, man. It's insane. All right, moving on to more positive news, man. The prodigal child known as Pal World is dropping January 19th, baby. And to
Gaming
boot,
is saved.
we're here, baby. We're here. And to boot is dropping day one on Xbox Game Pass, man. Ah, man. When talk to me. Talk to me.
Man, I cannot express to you how excited I am for this game. It's gonna be a lot of fun shooting Pikachus with the boys. And the thing is that, like, it's not even the thing that makes me excited about this game. It's not even the fact that, like, you know, I finally get to have guns in Pokemon, because I never asked for that, right? But the actual other aspects of the game, it just seems more modern. It seems more active. There are people who, like, as we know, after the Game Awards, there are people who don't like turn-based games. Can you imagine that one? But with this aspect, it looks like a way more involved game. Not only on top of that, it also seems like a game that they're not afraid of adding as much shit as possible for what seems like the free ski. Because a game where you're able to catch monsters, raise them, evolve them. At one point, one of the early trailers had showing you crossbreeding them. I don't know how accurate that is, or how.
I think it was farms for him. Yeah.
But like, you could do so much. And like, if we were to be comparing this to other monster taming games, you would be able to do maybe one of those extra things per game, right? Like if this was Pokemon, they'd be like, we're gonna let you craft a building. Like that would be the biggest appeal of this new Pokemon game, is that you can now craft shit. Like, oh, sick, thank you. They're like, yo, we're gonna let you craft shit. We're gonna let you crossbreed. We're gonna give you guns. We're gonna give the Pokemon guns. Like, bro, what is going on here? It looks like the biggest game in a long time, truthfully.
100, and it's like, dog, I thought we was gonna get cease and desisted. I thought we wasn't gonna make it here, bro.
Yeah, no.
I thought we wasn't gonna make it.
Baby, we up.
Yo, bro. I used to pray for times like this. I used to pray for times like this, for real, man. Like, again, the sheer scale of it, just like you said, the amount of features and functions and gameplay systems that are in this game is potential to be ridiculously huge. Again, you can base build, you can play the whole basic Pokemon route and get your team of tamer, monsters to tame and stuff like that. There seems to be a good variety. At least I saw at least like 100 or something like that, 110 different monsters or different pals to tame. Again, the traversal options with those pals, the different biomes I've seen, it looks like a pretty big world. And on top of all that, it's co-op, it's multiplayer. You can have multiple people in the same session.
32 people.
You know what I'm saying?
32 people. That is an MMO at that point.
That's insane. That's insane.
A GTA 5 lobby of online people shooting Pokemon, raising Pokemon, cooking Pokemon. It's not. We need to stop saying Pokemon. Cooking
pals.
Monsters. Cooking pals. Like, it's gonna be dope. Bro.
Like, that's crazy, bro. And Xbox, kudos to them for the huge steal for getting this on Game Pass. I think that's gonna be really, really fruitful relationship between them two, because a lot of people have been interested in Power World. And I feel like once it picks up the release buzz, I think it already has a lot of buzz, with the hardcore base who's been seeing this game being developed for a little bit now. But Xbox Game Pass is going to take it to another level of like, yo, it's out there now. Like, damn, like people are really going to tap into it. And I think it's set up to be, it's not even a sleeper. I think it's just one of those games that people anticipated slightly. I think it's going to be on the more anticipated list because people have been looking for this for a little bit. I know I've been looking at this for like better part of like a year and a half, at least when I first saw it. I can't remember how long it's been, but this is going to be fire. I will be there. We will be there. I can't wait.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Definitely the boys are gonna be on it. And honestly, shout outs to them, man, because I'm happy that they didn't get cease and desisted. Like, a lot of people have tried to do this. There have been other Pokemon like clones or monster taming like clones, but this is gonna be a really good one. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
100%. I cannot wait for this one. Oh man, bring on the pals, baby. But we gonna move on to the next news story here. After Hogwarts Legacy sold 22 million units last year, WB, Warner Bros. Discovery, they are ready to go all in on the Potterverse games, and namely, they are prepping to get a Quidditch game in the market, and some form of it is already in beta testing. So, when more Potterverse, Quidditch specifically? Yeah.
I will not be tapping in. As I said prior to any Hogwarts related stuff, there will be somebody who will be making money off of it. I don't really fuck with them like that, so I will not be tapping in. Good for the people who want this. I don't. The problem is like it's a WB thing, so there's a chance this shit can be butt cheeks, double butt cheeks, quadruple butt cheeks.
Yeah.
Right, because like look up their track record is very, very rocky with games. I mean, one of their games hasn't even come out yet, and it's already getting shit on. Like that's what's wild. It's like it's already getting shit on. So it's either gonna be one of those games that people enjoy, tap into. I mean, like I'm sure it's gonna sell like hotcakes. It's Harry Potter, but sure, good for them, I guess. I at no point, even when I did watch, I think I watched like the first 3 movies. Yeah. Quidditch looked cool. Did not enough for me. Like I need to tap into this bad boy. I cannot imagine. Shout out. I don't want to say shout out to the people who are programming this, but like this shit is gonna be hard to do. I couldn't imagine what the game would play like to be fun, and like it just seems like a wild ass moment. But hey, you know, to each their own.
Yeah, 100. My only question would be, what is the delivery form of this Quidditch game? Are you putting this in the Hogwarts Legacy title? Are you making it its own standalone thing? Are you charging full price? You putting it in Fortnite? What's the play here? You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do to drop this game? Knowing WB, it's going to be a $80 game that's standalone that does not have enough features to sustain it for more than like 3 months. But I just don't know what their exact method of dropping this game would be. Now, again, from a neutral point of view, Quidditch is probably one of the most sought after modes in history of gaming, probably right next to San Andreas basketball or basketball in GTA in any format. You know what I'm saying? Like it's up there. It's definitely been talked about in those types of conversations and volume and stuff over the years. But again, the delivery method has to be right for this to be really viable. If you're going to drop $70 for just Quidditch alone, I would not do that. Now, if you're waiting for another Hogwarts Legacy sequel or something like that, and then you put that on top of it as a multiplayer side piece thing, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's somewhat more viable to the gamers and people who are tapped in to buy it. You know what I'm saying? But I again, like when I know where I stand. You know what I'm saying? If I play it, I play it. But did I buy it? Allegedly, we'll figure it out. That's all I know. You know what I mean? I can't say neither here nor there. Maybe you heard it, maybe you didn't. I don't know. We'll leave it to, you know what I'm saying, the Lorax God and the people who might have seen this purchase or may or not have seen this purchase. That's all I know. So don't wait on it. Don't hold your breath. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Don't expect a When Easy Quidditch stream anytime soon. I promise you that.
Yeah, I hear it. But pushing on to the next story here. Speaking of those rumors, more rumors are swirling in the air, and we're starting to hear some buzz around Microsoft, and they have been exploring options to bring more first-party games to the PlayStation and Switch. They want to take things multi-plat from their first party, and we've heard 2 big rumors swirl around in that kind of subtopic here. One, Sea of Thieves has been rumored to be a multi-plat drop in early 2024, coming to the PlayStation and potentially the Switch. Heard a lot of buzz around that specific game. And Hi-Fi Rush has had a lot of buzz around it of potentially coming to the Switch and maybe PS5. There have been some conflicting reports about PS5 being included in that, but is this the right move? Is this viable for Microsoft? How you feeling about this news?
I think that Hi-Fi Rush belongs on the Switch. I think it's a really good game. I have my own gripes with it, but we don't have time for that. I think the game is really cool. And like, there are so many games that the Xbox has that I think really should be multi-platform. Like, I don't know why Sunset Overdrive is not multi-platform at this point. Like, you might as well.
Just like, bring that game back too, by the way.
Yeah, like give us a 2 and drop 1 on PlayStation. And PlayStation, like, let's be adults about this. It's not that deep. It's not like the game has a diehard fan base that if God forbid it go on your system, they're gonna buy Xboxes. Like, I think exclusivity in games kind of really needs to die at this point. I know a lot of people like. I don't know anybody who really likes having exclusives on their console anymore. I think if anything, it hurts more than it helps, because who is really sitting here like, man, I'm so happy that they don't have Starfield. Like, man,
you
shut
know
up.
who, you know who,
Like,
you know
the
who.
people with nothing else in their
Yeah,
lives.
yeah.
That too. But I can imagine a world where they do drop certain games on there. I just don't know if it's really worth it for Xbox, because at the end of the day, it's not like Sony's doing it for them, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, what purpose? But now if they dropped it on the Switch, different conversation. I think Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch is a no-brainer at this point. I think any game you could put on the Switch might as well, because it's not hurting your pockets. Like, it's only gonna help you. The Switch fanboys are gonna cop it regardless. Like, if they have PlayStations, even people who have PlayStation and have Switches, like, I'll buy a Hi-Fi Rush on my Switch if I didn't have an Xbox or a means to play it and I had a PlayStation. Like, just make your money, man. Let those old folks at PlayStation be broke, you know?
Nah, I hear it. So this is my thing, and I definitely want to recircle on this when we get to one of our main stories towards the end of the show. But Xbox's approach for 2024, they have a lot of real estate now. Again, Activision's settled, it's finally done. That's in the books. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of IPs that they can work with. Letting a couple of things go multi-plat, especially for games in the Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush territory, where Hi-Fi Rush, again, critically acclaimed, came out really good. Shadow dropped like the top of last year out of nowhere, and everybody's like, holy shit, this is good stuff. But maybe it can do for more push and more buzz if it went multi-platform, especially on a fitting system like the Nintendo Switch. That could be a big benefit to Xbox and the game itself. That could set Hi-Fi Rush up for a lot more success as an IP if it gets multi-plat. Imagine if they drop it on the Switch and the PS5, and there's a whole new set of fans like, yo, holy shit, Hi-Fi Rush is amazing. Like, yo, we're fans of this now, and they're like, yo, y'all really like that? Y'all do? And they're like, yeah, we like it. So they're gonna line up a second game. The whole second game's coming. The sequel's already planned and stuff like that. And now they have even more incentive to drop it. Now, again, they have the choice of one, bringing it back to an exclusive and driving maybe a couple more units to Xbox users, or getting them on PC or whatever, but getting more people in the Xbox ecosystem that way, or you just get more profits by dropping the Hi-Fi Rush, the Hi-Fi Rush sequel as a complete multi-platform. So you have that option of doing more things. You know what I'm saying? With again, a prime first party title right now, but that could spawn into something that's even bigger as a first party, or you bring it to more people and have more profits from a multi-platform standpoint. That is a very, very potentially big upside for them, and I'll circle back to it in a second. But speaking of Sea of Thieves as well, Sea of Thieves could do for, again, an expansion of services, an expansion of servers. I mean, just more people to populate the world, to have more people amongst it and in it. Sea of Thieves could definitely do for that. I think that's a no-brainer as well to drop multi-platform, because again, the more people you have on the servers, the longer you keep it alive, the more stuff you can drop into it. And I think Sea of Thieves is honestly, it's come a long way. I think it's a viable game that deserves enough of server life to have more people play it. So that makes complete sense to me. But back to kind of the overall topic and Hi-Fi Rush in particular, it's a first party game for them. It's a first party catch up game for Xbox. We've known this. We've said this for years now, where Xbox don't got no games. You know what I'm saying? The whole song and dance about that. But now they're in a place where they're starting to load up a lot of first party stuff. And again, I will circle around this conversation later. Remember this, and towards the end of the podcast, they're gonna start loading up the chamber. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna start loading up the clip. They got a lot of stuff going, and they can make some decisions to really spread their wealth and you know what I'm saying, not out of reason to where they're not getting anything back in return, but they can put some feelers out and really increase the popularity of some first party stuff to start catching up to what the other brands may have. So I think there's a smart play in this, but they have to strike a good balance as to not give up so much of their first party IP to where, you know, they're not really getting much in return from putting stuff on other platforms. They have it's a balance that they have to strike. But I think this is good. I think this is good. Exclusivity is, unfortunately, for the sake of business, it's not going away, because Xbox is Xbox, PlayStation is PlayStation, Nintendo's Nintendo. They're never going to let that go, because that's their main selling point. Why would we even buy anything? You know what I'm saying? If you guys have no unique selling point to give to us, blah blah blah. But in Xbox's situation, I think this can be very advantageous, and it can be beneficial to a lot of different people. You get to experience games that maybe you haven't had before, and there's extra buzzes added to their brand. So there's upside. I think this is a good move for them. And at the end of the day, get that Game Pass for $9.99. You know what I'm saying? If you want to experience more of the stuff that we got on our platform, you know what I'm saying? All the Game Pass evangelists, they're gonna be singing this to the praises, like, oh look, we gave y'all a little taste test. It's like I feel like Xbox might be playing a wire, bro. It's like, yo, give him a sample real quick. Give him a quick little sample. You know what I'm saying? Come back. We got the rest of it over here. It comes to the spot. Like, yo, like what? They trying to string a bell this. They trying to like really big brain play this. You know what I mean?
And they can, and that's what Sony is afraid of, and that's really their superpower. Is if you can get people to fuck with the brand, fuck with the Game Pass, and it's gonna be quiet. Imagine the Game Pass on a Switch. Like, that's a scary sight for PlayStation.
100. That is spooky. That's spooky. That is cool. Nah, yeah, bruh. There's a lot of ways to slice the pie. They just got to make sure that they're walking a tightrope correctly. That's all. All right, pushing on here, diving back into some FGC news here. We're set to receive a Hunter x Hunter or Hunter x Hunter fighting game from Aiding and Bushiroad. Again, it seems to be a 3v3 based fighter at the moment. We still got some details to come, but it's Hunter x Hunter, Hunter x Hunter, Nen Impact. That's been announced. That's on the way. Shout out to Aiding. Of course, Aiding has been very much a mainstay in the fighting game community with games like Bloody Roar, the Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Naruto Clash of Ninja, and most recently DNF Duel. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff under their belt, but we're still waiting to hear what this might be. How do you feel about Hunter x Hunter Nen Impact?
I'll see it when I see it. I don't think it's gonna be a good game. I don't know. That's the thing, is I don't know. I want to say it's gonna be good, but I've said this about anime fighters before. You know, do I think they have a good track record? We're not gonna sit here and argue. We're not gonna sit here and pretend they don't. But I know how anime games go. I know what the point of them are. They're not designed to be really good fighting games. These things are designed to make money. At the end of the day, that's just, it is what it is. Anybody who believes otherwise is, I don't know.
Dope.
Like they might just have more faith in this than I do. But I've been around the block a couple times. I can't think of one anime game outside of Dragon Ball Fighter Z that was truly trying to encapsulate what the FGC wants in their games. A lot of it seems like, hey, we know you're a fan. We're gonna give you the bare minimum. We're gonna make the most amount of profit on it, and we know that at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, you're still gonna buy it because you're a fan of this anime, and it is what it is. GG's, bud. Next time, I don't know. Don't give us money. That's the only way that you can really combat this kind of stuff, is like, just don't give them money. But yeah, it's more than just me telling you not to. Like it has to be like a joint effort.
Yeah, 100. I agree. This is my only thing. Please don't be an arena fighter. Please.
What do you think it's gonna be?
Nah, man. Come on. We can't. The Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Come on. No, bruh. We can do this differently, guys. If it's anything, just don't make an arena fighter. That's all I ask. That's my only thing. I will dive into this game. I will literally try my best. I'm not a fighting guy. I'm not a fighting game guy. I'm not an FGC head. You know what I'm saying? I got my respect and appreciation for it, of course. I'm not the best, but I will dive in as much as I possibly can, as long as it's not an arena fighter, bro. I'm tired of them. Oh. Please.
It's gonna be the arena fighter.
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna have the same. Hey, everybody uses the same combos. Combos will be slightly different, but it's gonna be the same buttons, and we're just gonna, have to deal with it.
We'll see. I hope you're wrong about that, honestly.
I hope I'm wrong too. Every day I hope I'm wrong about this type of stuff, but I usually am not.
Yeah, I hear it. All right, pushing on here. According to some PlayStation blog post and rep corroboration, it looks like Silent Hill 2 Remake and Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta Snake Eater are set to release in 2024 this year. Especially for Silent Hill, we've heard a lot of reports that, again, the marketing and promotion for this stuff is going to pick up very, very quickly and very, very soon. So Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid this year?
We'll see how they do this, because I think that it's gonna be a really cool. It's gonna be cool to see. It's gonna be. I'm more excited for the Silent Hill 2 than I am for the Metal Gear Solid remake. I think the Metal Gear Solid remake, though, it's gonna be gorgeous. I do think that is something I can say with my whole heart. That being said, though, I can't wait to see what happens. Actually, we're gonna be optimistic. It's Konami, but we're gonna be optimistic. I will try not to slander this yet. Emphasis on yet.
Hey man, I forgot to ask you resolutions, but is one being more hesitant to slander? I don't know.
No, not at all. That's far from what I would want to do. I think one of my resolutions would be slandering without information. I'll do that. That'll be the best I can do for you guys, is trying to not slander something without knowing everything. But I know enough of personal experience to know that Konami, post Kojima, they're not really gonna be trying to do anything crazy here. You know, like they don't really strike me as the gaming company. I'm
dead. Hey man, I mean, we'll see. I gotta figure this thing out, man. But
I hope I'm wrong.
I would hope to see both of these games in 2024 just so we can get them underway. I have less faith over Metal Gear Solid 3 because we haven't seen more than just that one little snippet yet. So based off of what we've seen, I can't definitively say we'll get it in 2024. Maybe we'll get it later, like very, very late. Silent Hill 2, even less than that. But again, there seems to be more reports that are corroborating that actually dropping. So we'll just have to just keep a close eye. Probably, honestly, I think we're gonna get another March, State of Play, and we'll get like a very, very lengthy look at some of these things. If this is true, we're gonna have to get something by March, or else I don't see where this is gonna drop in 2024. To be honest.
Yeah, I can't imagine when. I think if I see the Metal Gear Solid game, the closest I could see it would be August. Because I don't think I've even seen anything about Silent Hill, so I'm not really holding my breath on that one.
Yeah, it's gotta be. They gotta hurry up. They gotta put the pedal to the metal and start showing something if they're really gonna drop this year. In my opinion, February, March has got to be the play where they drop their first big, like, hey, we're here. You know, so we'll figure it out. But moving into the first trailer trove of 2024, this is, of course, the segment where we talk about all the more watchable media, the sit down, sit back, and let it all, you know what I'm saying, play out, the movies, the TV, the animes, all that good stuff. And we got two stories here really quickly. First and foremost, we have a brand new Star Wars movie titled The Mandalorian and Grogu on the way. It's being directed by Jon Favreau. So, you know, again, The Mandalorian, which is kind of like that big spark of the TV boom and the TV series boom after, you know, the Skywalker saga ended, is now trying to lead that charge into the movies, going really full-fledged picture. How do you feel about this?
I think it's cool, but I hope that the show translates well. Not saying that the show is bad or anything, but like there is a translation that needs to happen between a show to a movie. But I think this is kind of cool. I've always wanted a Boba Fett movie because I was a huge Boba Fett fan growing up. Yeah. But this is not a bad substitute either. And who knows? Maybe he might show up, or maybe he might not.
Yeah, possibly. I will say there is a good and there is a bad to this, in my opinion. There are a potential good and a potential bad to this. The potential bad to this is that I feel like Mandalorian's kind of, it's not as simplistic as it was before, or it wasn't as approachable as it was before. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Star Wars fan, so like to some degree, I'm gonna like catch up on the other material that relates to it and stuff like that. I'm gonna watch it, and you know what I'm saying. If there's a Book of Boba Fett show, I'm gonna watch that. If there's a Ahsoka show that might connect to that, I'm gonna watch that. Like, I'm going to do that. But for other people who first watched The Mandalorian, they were like, oh, something different than Star Wars. Let's just watch that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just felt it felt maybe more approachable. And I don't know how applicable the plot and the scope of the movie will be without that prior context. So maybe things might get lost in translation. Again, I'm not trying to point fingers to the MCU, but sometimes the quality may be perceived differently if you don't have all the context behind it, and that might affect how the movie performs in people's eyes critically. So how they package this movie, how Jon Favreau delivers this movie could be a little bit, you know what I'm saying, in flux, because we don't know how much context we got to apply from prior stuff to that movie for it to be, you know, maybe as good as it can be, as good as it may be, you know, who knows. But the context from prior projects is a concern for me. The potential upside, if this hits, Jon Favreau's on it. It seems like, again, the main guy who led us into this era of the limited TV series of Star Wars, which has been, you know, overall really good to us. If you ask me, I think it's been overall pretty good. He has a chance to fully bring us away from anything Skywalker. And to me, that is a positive. That is a very, very, very big positive. I am tired of the Skywalker saga, especially after seeing my boy Finn so close to being a Jedi in the Skywalker saga and not even being deemed one. Annoying. Move that to the side. If we can get farther from anything Skywalker, I don't even want too many lightsabery things. You could add a couple, you know, Jedis or whatever here and there, but if we can have a good project that's so, you know what I'm saying, substantial in its impact on the major screens, that moves us away from, again, anything Star Wars, Skywalker, sabery and stuff like that. If we can move farther away from that and start telling more different stories across, you know, the galaxy far, far away, if we can start getting into that full-fledged on the big screen, that can be a really big positive. Again, Rogue One, a lot of people's favorite Star Wars movie of all time, barely had anything to do with it, you know what I'm saying, a damn Jedi or Sith or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Not until the end part. You know, this could be a great way to take that detour left and kind of break apart, you know what I'm saying? Fast and Furious, it's been a long day, and just separate from the concept of Skywalkers and stuff for a little bit and give Star Wars more room to actually be what a lot of people want it to be. An expansive universe that tells so many different stories. We've seen a lot of them, but the big screen, where it's always been centered on, for the most part, where the bulk of, you know, the money's come from, has just been Skywalkers and the Jedi's attached to Skywalkers and stuff for the most part. It's just like, damn, people sometimes want different. This could be a good chance to do that.
Yeah, and I would love to see it. But I love that you mentioned like how like it's gonna be interesting to see how people watch this show. When I watch the show, watch this movie, because of all the things that I have to do with the shows. I've been saying this forever, but yeah, I do agree with you where I would like to see what it's gonna look like for the average individual to be like, hey man, I don't feel like watching an entire 3 or 4 season show to watch a movie. And it's gonna be something that I mean, at the end of the day, we're gonna get to this point at some point where we're gonna have to ask the question, is like, is having an entire show before your movie gonna hurt or help your sales?
That's facts.
I always thought it was gonna hurt, because at the end of the day, there are people who watch movies that don't really feel like catching up on mad content, but then there are people who are more likely to watch it because of XYZ. So we'll see. I hope this movie does well. Will I watch this? I like The Mandalorian, but I don't really feel like watching more TV shows. I have so many already on my docket. Yeah, but we'll see. We will see.
I hear it, and I agree. Just gotta, we'll figure it out, man. We'll figure it out. But hopefully this means good things for the Star Wars franchise, and we can get some more diverse stuff, in my opinion. Moving on to the other story of the trailer trove here. For HBO's The Last of Us series, it seems we have our Abby casted as Caitlin. Denver has been locked in for the role in the show's second season. Yeah, she was casted earlier this week, and we got some more details on that. Just your reaction to somebody finally being casted for the role. When
I feel bad for her. No. This might be her big break, but it will not come without a cost. Like I genuinely like Last of Us 2, probably one of my favorite games of that generation. Like end of the PS4 era, iconic. I think it's arguably one of the best games on the PlayStation. And unfortunate for her, the community, the fandom bunch of babies, let me tell you. So that girl is definitely gonna be in for a rude awakening on the timeline when them boys are out here saying the wildest shit to her because they don't understand what a good plot looks like.
Yeah. Oh, no way. She was in The Mentalist? Oh my gosh. Yeah. She was that girl. Oh,
she was also in a, she was in a, I think she played Nathan Drake's daughter in
get out of here.
Uncharted 4. I could be wrong.
Get out of here.
But that might be her.
Get out of here. There's no, oh shoot, she did. Damn. Yeah.
Not her first Naughty Dog project.
Ah, so she familiar with the squad. Now, I apologize for the mispronunciation. It's Kaylin Deaver. My bad. I don't know why I added an N. You know why I added an N? Ace. It was Ace. Ace did that. Because I've been slandering Denver in my head for the past like 3 days. I've been thinking of stuff to say to him when I next see him. Oh my goodness. It's Ace's fault, guys. Blame Ace the Don XL. My bad.
Always blame Ace the Don
Always
XL.
hashtag blame Ace the Don XL, man. We're going to start that. We're going to get that rolling. But hey, what's it called? That's fair. Again, all I got to say is she needs to be on them steroids now. I want to see beef. I want to see her get bulked up when she beats the hell out of Pedro Pascal. And yeah, literally that. Stock up on the creatine and make sure your short game is good. I want to see them putts strong. You know what I mean? It really just,
absolutely.
You know, to get some work in. Call Roy McIlroy, call Tiger Woods, whoever you have to call. Get Wii Sports. You know what I'm saying? Just really get in there. You know what I'm saying? Put some oomph into your swing. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear the Wii clap in the background. Wow. We need that, man. But again, outside of that, honestly, please, studio, protect her. Actors, please protect her. People, stop being idiots. And just because she casted a controversial character in your eyes doesn't mean that the human being should be subject to some level of, you know what I'm saying, ire or just slander or whatever, bro. Like, relax. We already saw all the tough stuff with the girl who was the face scan actor for MJ this past week. There was all that stuff around that. Like, God, please, these are human beings. They're just acting. This is their job. They like to do it. This is their job. They are not those characters. Relax. Let her cook. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. Hope she does a smash up job.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens. To all the people who will most likely harass her, there's a reason you are alone and single and on Twitter every day. Get a life, and you know,
facts.
In the future, just understand these are all video games. This is why nobody takes you seriously in life, is because you're harassing people over a video game.
My resolution in 2024 is for you to get some bitches. Simple.
That's a hard resolution to keep. I'm not gonna lie to you. The way they act.
Hey man, you can have hope for anybody. Oh shoot. All right, let's move into the main stories of this first episode of 2024. Hot out the gates of this year, Xbox was like, hey, we going first. We up first, y'all. And they have their first developer direct of the year. They have announced it. It is happening on January 18th, and they have a lot to show, apparently. Most notably, we have 4 main games that we're going to see some more deep dives into. One, Our History Untold, be from the folks behind Civ. They got some new stuff to show there. They've got Hellblade 2, again, a big deep dive scheduled for them as they're slated to drop this year. Avowed is gonna have a big deep dive, which I'm excited for, which is again dropping this year. And we have a 10-minute gameplay and some more snippets from the Indiana Jones game from Machine Games, the studio, of course, behind the Wolfenstein series. Again, at least the latest iteration of like Wolfenstein, the New Blood and stuff like that. We've had a lot of stuff from them, and we're gonna see what they got cooking with the Indiana Jones title. No updates from Activision just yet. Xbox did say stay posted this year. We will have some news on Activision titles and what's going to be in store for them as they're incorporated into Xbox's plans and execution. But listen, this is next week. Tell me how you feeling, bro. Tell me how you feeling, how you feel about what's going to be in store, what they have cooking for this developer direct.
I'm expecting a cool, sick indie that we were not expecting, like something small, nothing crazy. I'm not talking about something that's going to change the landscape, but something that we definitely weren't expecting or never heard about that's going to catch our eye a little bit, kind of like a Jusant like type vibe. Like, I love Jusant. It's probably one of my favorite games of last year. but something along those lines of like, oh, I did not see this coming. But something like that in the direct. And I think they're gonna drop something on us of something we do know that we didn't know they had a hand in, right? I don't think we're gonna see anything Overwatch related, but like if I see something along the lines of like, I don't know, I don't even know what I would like think, what I would consider, maybe something like a what's the game that everybody's shitting on right now? Suicide Squad on Game Pass Day 1 or something along those lines, like something small that we're like, oh, okay, cool, I'll definitely tap in. But they already announced Power World, so like that kind of prediction kind of doesn't even feel fair anymore, because like I was not expecting Power World on Xbox Day 1. So I don't know. I also do think the Indiana Jones game is either gonna blow me away or make me roll my eyes the hardest I've rolled them in a while. Like again, when I heard Indiana Jones game the first time, I thought it was a joke. When I heard it the second time, I was like, oh, okay, I forgot this even existed. I guess we're still going through with this. The movies are cool. I just didn't know we needed this, but hey, I'm not the one who makes these decisions.
Yep. Nah, hey man, it is what it is at this point, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually pretty excited for this. I'm pretty excited for this. Our History Untold, I'm not too psyched, but again, I might have a quick side eye for it. You know what I'm saying? I got a, you know what I'm saying, that little part of that subgenre still in my heart. I actually need to play those games again. I miss freaking, again, just like, I haven't played much of Civ ever, but I miss those types of games. Like oh my gosh, the name is literally escaping me, and I apologize.
You're talking about Age of Wonder or Age of Mythology or something?
Age of Myth, thank you. I always talk shit about Age, or I always talk about Age of Myth in general, because that's literally my favorite one out of that whole, genre, space, whatever. Fucking love Age of Myth. So I got a little something for that. I will keep a side eye on that stuff. Hellblade 2, been talking about for a long time. That game just looks better and better every time I see it. Fantastic. Again, first iteration. I can't wait to see what they're doing with the next one. Avowed. You know what time it is. Whenever I see Obsidian, you know what happens. You know what happens when Obsidian rolls up, bro. They do something better than somebody else. That's what I know. That's all I know. You can read into that what you want to read into. You know what I'm saying? But Obsidian always does good work, and I'm very, very excited to see what they cooked up for this. I've been, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still trying to figure out some of the details and stuff of what we're getting. But again, we're set to get a lot of stuff from them here, so I can't wait to see. I think they're supposed to drop this year as well, so that's going to be a big title that could be in the mix. And the Indiana Jones game, which I've heard barely anything about until, we're probably gonna get the actual gameplay here. And again, because it's the team behind the latest Wolfensteins, I have growing excitement for this. I have very, very much growing excitement for this. I don't know. Funnily enough, while I was still on vacation, I ended up watching Raiders of the Lost Ark again. It was just on TV, and I watched it with my brother and stuff. And I was like, dog, recreating this feeling, just like again, the set pieces, the locales, and just that level of kind of interactability with the action. Again, this is like Uncharted's father and stuff like that. Lara Croft is the mother. Lara Croft is the mother. Indy's the father and stuff like that. So how do you bring it there and putting its own little spin on that? It's going to be interesting to see them do it. But Wolfenstein is no stranger to action. Saying big set pieces, that type of fast paced ability. That and just the historical elements. You know what I'm saying? The treasure hunter type of elements that, again, we know Indy for. I want to see how that's implemented in several different gameplay systems. So that's going to be interesting to see. I think this is going to be a solid one in my opinion for him. And kind of looking back at what we talked about in the last Xbox conversation with the expansion of IPs and this now, is 2024 going to be Xbox's year? Is it? No,
I don't know. I want to say no, because this lineup is good, but it's not significant enough, to make it its year. I think Avowed is going to be super dope, but like, I don't know. Every time I think they're going to have some fire cooking up, they disappoint me. Like with what's this game called?
Don't say Redfall.
No,
okay.
Not Redfall.
Oh, the Starfield.
The game. Yeah, no, not Starfield. I mean, not just Starfield. Yeah, that's what it actually was. Starfield. I was gonna say Neil Armstrong's Wet Dream is the best way to describe that game, because that's just what it is. It's just like, yo, remember watching the moon landing for the first time? No, because you're not 75.
Oh, I'm dead.
Then this is gonna be the game for you. Like, just fucking clunky robotics, a bunch of people just standing around on dead planets. Like, it's not they kind of disappointed a couple times after they got my hopes up. So I'm gonna say no to every year. Maybe I'm gonna give it 2 more years because I think they still need some time to cook. Because what I think a lot of people don't realize, or like one thing that my reasoning for believing that this isn't their year, is just because they have spent so much time acquiring and grabbing things together. It's like when you go to the grocery store and like you buy a bunch of shit to make some good food, but you haven't spent a lot of time in the kitchen. You spent a lot of time in the grocery store. You looked at a lot of different ingredients and you copped a bunch of different stuff, but you're not ready to cook yet because you haven't really done anything in a while. So I think they need a little bit more time finding their footing, like Xbox specifically needs to find a way that they can support all their studios, not just a couple, so that like things like Redfall don't happen again. You know? So that a lot of people don't come out with like, well, if we had the money that they gave to Starfield, because even like, look at that. We had Redfall. We were like, this shit was ass. And like, don't worry, guys. We helped with Starfield, so it won't be as bad as it was with Redfall. And it wasn't as bad, but it wasn't good either. Like that's what you look like when you help the studio. So if that's what it looks like, you guys firing on all cylinders, you guys working cohesively, y'all need a different something. Something needs to change then. Because that can't be your us as a unit game. You know what I'm saying? Like Final Fantasy 16 is Square Enix as a unit, and that's a great game to showcase that.
Nah, serious. Now, for me to answer that question, it could be 2024 could be Xbox's year. It could be, and I'm looking at this from again, from a game standpoint, from a release standpoint, from a services standpoint, what they can bring in terms of the ecosystem and the moves that they make, and from an announcement standpoint. Announcement standpoint, I feel like it's very self-explanatory. I think they're gonna have a lot of stuff stocked in the chamber, especially after, again, they literally bought Activision. They're gonna have at least like 4 different crazy things that they're talking about. A lot of things for them to recover in terms of the IPs that were delayed and stuff like that we heard about, but they've been pushed back a little bit. Perfect Dark, I swear you better have news this year or I will die. I'm not gonna die, but seriously, guys, come on. Those things, announcements are pretty. I think they should have some really big announcements in their back pocket, and they should be, you know what I'm saying, letting them fly across this year. They should be letting a lot of this fly with 2025 and 2026 approaching. I think those are going to be big years. 2025 specifically is going to be a big year. You know what I'm saying? GTA excluded from that. I still think there's going to be a lot of stuff that they're teeing up for. So from announcement sides, they should be chock full of stuff. From the services side and what they're doing and the moves that they make, and again, talking about the prior conversation that we had about them expanding their IPs to other platforms, they have the opportunity to, again, as they build up their first party strength, they have a chance to, it's a bit of a gamble, but they have the chance to raise the popularity and raise the profile of some of their first party things, to show, one, we have games that we've had on here, we're going to give them to you to share a little bit on other platforms, but show, one, hey, this series that we're giving to you, we're making more of it if you like it, and if we get that feedback, back to us, we're going to create more of it, and we have the option to either give you more for more profits or release it as an exclusive and bring more units into the Xbox ecosystem, like we were talking about before. And there's that side of the argument, and then there's also, it gives the Xbox brand more standing in the first party race. We already know, again, it's that age-old conversation. Do they have what it takes to create a healthy first party library? You know what I'm saying? They're starting to build a bit of momentum finally, and again, the Avowed, again, the Hellblade 2. I think these are good starts, solid things to comb in through this year, but they have a chance to kind of really showcase to other audiences who are very set in stone of like, damn, Xbox ain't had no games before, what about now? Like, they can show a little bit of a difference in opinion. They can show that, hey, we've been working on this, and this. We showed you, you know what I'm saying, Hi-Fi Rush came out of nowhere last year. That was just something we had in the back pocket, the Shadow Drop. Wait till we have stuff that's really going in. This could be this could be a big statement year for them, honestly. And in a year where I'm not sure what else is coming for PlayStation entirely, I still have to check on top of my head. Outside of the Last of Us remaster, What else? Do you know anything else is coming out for PlayStation on top of your head outside of like I don't count the Konami joints. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Okay, I will count that one. I'm about to say that's an early one. It's not like a blowout thing where they have like 80 million first party titles or like 7 big first party titles that are like, yo, oh my gosh, like PlayStation's gonna blow Xbox out the water again. It's still very open from the gates, you know what I'm saying, from the starting pistol to right now. It seems that this year is poised for it can be anybody's game. That's what I'm saying. So Xbox has a chance to really set the tone and say, not only do we have some solid games coming out this year, but what we're setting up for and what we're building in our ecosystem is stuff that, you know, we can give you a little first party thing, but we got some heat coming, so they can really build their status up as somebody who can punch above their weight and get into the classes where PlayStation set themselves up as, where Nintendo set themselves up as viable first party, you know what I'm saying, heavy hitters. They can get to that point. They can start to build up that reputation from now with the moves that they make in those services. And with the first party stuff that they got, again, if Indiana Jones is somehow like a smash hit, it's already a known IP, that could be something that's, again, something that's sleeper, but establishes them as quality. For me, it's not like this year's not going to be the largest games that they have on offer, because Elder Scrolls is still in the waiting, and who knows what that's going to be, you know what I'm saying? But off of name alone, that's a big title. You know what I'm saying? Activision stuff, they just got it in. Who knows what it's going to be, because they're still formulating all that stuff. Who knows what's going to come of that. I'm not counting Call of Duty in their mix, but people could count Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War or Gulf War, wherever the hell it's going to be. They can count that as an Xbox win because they have it under their belt automatically, so it's going to be a moneymaker. But this still it can be a statement year to show Xbox, hey, Xbox has quality stuff. We're building quality stuff, and we're going to be able to punch to the weight class of PlayStation now in the first party. This is a year for them to try and prove that. To me, can they do it? I think they can. But it just comes down to the consistency of the drops that they have. Again, the Hellblade 2s, the Avoweds, the Indiana Jones game. I think these are 3 good places to start and potentially start to prove that. But seeing is believing. Seeing is definitely believing. But do I think 2024 can be Xbox's year? Yes, I think it can be.
We're gonna have to wait and see. I guess I'm just not. Xbox just doesn't really be wowing me like that, I guess. Like I'm just I want them to succeed, but I still feel like their new approach, while I think their new approach is also very unprecedented. They haven't done nobody has done
Nobody's
it to the
done
level
it.
that
Yeah.
they've done it.
This is serious. Like it's like they have to give some things up to get in the you know what I'm saying, to get in the mix. They have to get in the fight a little bit to prove themselves. Like they have to, you know what I'm saying, put up some collateral to get into the poker game, and then they gotta start playing the rest of the way they play to show, oh yeah, he's actually serious. You know what I mean? Like they have to do these things because they're so far back in that market. We've already established that, you know what I'm saying? But it's not easy. It's going to be a lot of give and take, maybe a little bit more give than take at this point, because Nintendo and PlayStation are so set up. But if they play them cards right and they really show that the stuff that they're pushing out to multi-platform is good, and they kind of, again, set that precedent of we're making quality stuff in our first party, they can start to really catch up. They can. I fully believe 2024 can be their year of saying like, hey, we're on the map and we on heels. So, but again, seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. All right. The last thing we got on the notes is something a little bit different. Man, I wanted to kind of start to introduce some of these other side topics and stuff, and just other kind of like, just looser things. So with 2024 being here at the first episode of the year, I definitely wanted to start talking about some bold predictions for gaming in 2024. There was a thread on Twitter from I believe his ad is Dom's Playing. Shout out to Dom's Playing. I saw this literally earlier in the year. I was like, shoot, we can comb through a couple of these, see what's going on, see what people might have quoted. And if we have any of our own, we can jump on it, see if anything sticks out. But yeah, let's talk about some of these bold predictions. Let me see. There's a few of them here, but let me drop this. First one I saw: Sony buys Gearbox Software. How do you feel about that?
I saw that one. I think it's pretty interesting. I don't know if they would, because I feel like not Xbox. I feel like Sony buys I don't know if Sony would buy Gearbox. I feel like Gearbox buys other companies. So like for them to buy all of Gearbox, I feel like they might be just a smidge too big. But I do think Sony, Gearbox under Sony would be an interesting take. I'm gonna say I can't see it happening, but it would be interesting. If it did happen, I would be like, that's a good company to pick up. A little rough around the edges with quality, but I think they make amazing content regardless.
That's fair. That's
what I was gonna say is the other one that I saw was like, oh my god, I just lost it. The Sony buys Gearbox, Apple buys Sony was like nuts. I was like, that's not gonna happen. But damn, I think I might have lost the one that I was looking for.
Yeah, I can say one more in the meantime. What's it called? Somebody said that what? Damn, now I lost it. Damn it! You go.
it's a horrible it's a horrible trend going on here.
We can talk about this one real quick. Valve announces Half-Life 3. That is never happening, brother. That's never happening in your lifetime. Gabe Newell will never do that. He is making too much money off of Steam. There's no way. He does not care. He does not care.
Sometimes I feel like with certain games, like if it's not getting a sequel anytime soon, like you might as well just like let it die where it dies.
Yeah.
Or just like let the dude who wrote the game write a book or something to finish out the story. Because I don't even know what a Half-Life 3 would look like that would appease the fans.
Shoot, that is a good question, because I'm about to say that beats me. I have no idea. Like, you just gotta get on the Alyx 2, get on Alyx 2 or something like that, man.
Yeah,
like that's literally it. Just ride that bandwagon, and then that's as best as you can do. Let me see what the other one here. Speaking of sequels or some type of iteration, Bloodborne remake, 4K 60 FPS 2024. Do you believe that? Do you believe that to be something that can come true?
Not this year. Not this year. I think it would come true. Like, it would be like a Demon Souls remake. And remember how like Demon Souls came out way early PS3 era, and then they remade it for the PS5. So what was that, PS4? So PS6 era Bloodborne, I can see that easily, but not this year, no.
Yeah, no, okay. That's fair. Let me see. What else was in here? Let maybe jump down. They said the next BioShock will be revealed and released in 2024. Big cap. I don't believe that one.
I don't think they're making any more of those games.
Yeah.
I don't want to be an asshole, but I don't think they are.
Somebody said an interesting one here. Netflix will acquire Embracer Group. That was an interesting one. I'm like, yo, that's kind of wild. But is it far-fetched? Because Netflix, again, they've been starting to put out more games, and they've been starting to invest heavily into this side. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it pop up in the last like couple months.
I don't want to say that that's wrong, because I could see Netflix spending money on dumb shit all the time. Like, that sounds very on brand for them. But I don't. I don't see them buying Embracer Group, but I do see them continuing to try to make their way into this gaming space.
Word, I hear that. Let me see. There was one here. Well, actually, wait. I get an obvious one. Nintendo Switch 2, does it drop this year? That's my bold prediction. It will drop this year.
You think it's gonna drop this year?
Like, actually, at this point, the motherfuckers, come on. Holiday. Just give up. Just drop the next one. Let's go, man.
If they drop it, they would have to announce it in March, I think.
Which I think is very possible.
You're not. I don't disagree with you. I don't. Do I think I see a Switch 2 on the horizon? I don't know, man. I want to say yes. But my body's just like, bro, them boys. Like, yeah, no, I think it has to happen, because I feel like the way Legend of Zelda performed on the Switch, if they were serious about quality, they would be like, yo, that game, like the game was great, but the game was not working as well as it could be working. I think it's finally time we step up. So we'll see what happens.
No, I hear that. And this is one that was interesting as well. This is a kind of half bold prediction, half like a question. But somebody said Xbox will acquire the marketing rights to GTA 6, and they'll have the lead on that going into their release for next year? And that's a question. Like, that's actually a really big thing. Like,
Interesting.
Would them, or I know PlayStation's going to be horny to try and get those marketing rights as well, like trying to get some type of, not necessarily exclusivity, but some type of priority in a marketing deal or something like that. There's got to be something to be had on that front. And if Xbox can get it ahead of them, that's a big knock. That's a big blow to PlayStation if they're trying to, you know what I'm saying, market something in that way. There's any competition on that front.
It would be smart, but the way that game is leaking, it's almost like, I feel like it's not gonna be worth at that point. Like, you're gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna pay you all this money for us to release shit, and they're gonna be like, all right, cool.
I still think it'd be worth it.
It would be worth it, but not whatever money they're gonna pay for it. It's gonna be like,
yeah, it might be reduced.
Like, you're just gonna be buying a bad product. Like, regardless how much money you paid for it, it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna generate as much, because a lot of people are getting their information from GTA from leakers now, and I think it's gonna be a headache and a half if they pay for it. But I could see that. I could definitely see that, because I think PlayStation owned the marketing rights to fucking GTA, and it really didn't do much. Like, to me as a gamer, it didn't really do much for me. I was just like, okay, it's on both systems and it's on PC. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it was always like, oh, in the PlayStation event, check out this GTA trailer. The GTA trailer is like, hey, it's the same game, and I'm like, oh.
Yep. Yeah. But again, the perception is reality to some people, so it could mean a whole lot. It could, and I'm not gonna lie. In a time where there's like, PlayStation this year is. It's a huge shoulder shrug. PlayStation, I don't know what they're gonna do exactly. Again, you have the third party stuff. We have Final Fantasy Rebirth. They have they have some of the third party stuff from Konami. They have the Metal Gear Solid. They have the Silent Hill, which are big, but the third party, so I'm not counting it first party. In terms of that, like, I don't think they're gonna have too many big first party things there. I think their third party stuff is going to be dominated from their plans this year. They need to get a multiplayer, like they need to get something multiplayer that's attributed to their brand in either a marketing partnership or whatever. They need to have something quickly, in my opinion. Third party in general, but multiplayer specifically, they need to have something like down there. You know what I'm saying? Will Destiny, the final shape, will that come out in a good positive light? Who knows? So outside of that, they got to find something fairly quickly to kind of have a substantial year, in my opinion. Because outside of that, I don't see where I don't see, you know, like the craziest stuff is going to come out. I don't know if this is going to be the biggest year from PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, they are leading with Last of Us 2 remastered. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? This year is already kind of like, let's just chill out. Let's just, you know, have some things in the cut. The only thing I can see PlayStation having a huge year in is the announcements, because 2025 and 2026 is probably going to be really, really big. They have enough time to like recalibrate, and some things might be huge. Please, where is Ghost of Tsushima 2? The only time I will say it, I lied. It's not going to be the only time I say it. I'm going to talk about it again. I will say it. I will mention it every episode if I have to. Where is it? Because that's what I'm waiting on. That, me personally.
Yeah. No, I think the announcements are going to be big, but I also don't think PlayStation is the type of people that aren't afraid of doing the whole, I'm going to post this, I'm a announce it and then I'm going to drop it, you know? I could definitely see them their announcements being accompanied with game drops.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two. I don't expect them to do it like Nintendo, where they'll drop like 3 games in one announcement, but I can see them doing it at least once.
I hear it. So yeah, that's pretty much all the bold predictions I saw that were like pretty much of note. Anything else? Do you wanna do an over under on the number of Blazer jacket combos we're gonna see at the Game Awards this year?
I'd wait till we get closer to the Game Awards, but I definitely would.
It's already on my mind, brother. It's already on my mind. Oh man. Yeah, but no, that's fair. That's some decent bold predictions to talk about so far. But with that being said, that's all I got in the notes, bro. That's pretty much it. This is the episode. Anything that we might have not covered or missed in the time that we were talking about stuff?
Not that I can think of. The only thing is like, nothing really crazy. Just the new League season drop, but I don't feel like talking about that. Other than that, no, everything else seems to be covered. We'll definitely be covering the developer direct next week as well.
100. We're definitely going to be all over that. So keep an eye out for their reactions and all that stuff that comes from, you know what I'm saying, that stuff. So yeah, we gonna be around, man. We gonna be around 2024. It's our fucking year. I just don't know yet. Don't worry about it. But yeah, we can leave it at that. Closing notes, my friend. Give me the closing notes.
Make sure you drink your water. Make sure you get ready for these games dropping. End of this month, I feel like we're gonna be seeing a lot of guys coming out. Not as crazy as 2023, but we're gonna see some pretty good consistency with games.
100, man. My closing notes is, listen, tell people you love them, man. Top of the year, and ain't never too soon. Tell everybody you love them. We out here, we doing the damn thing. No Cooldown is here to stay, and we running it up, bro. I believe we're at like 300 and something subscribers on YouTube. I can't even look at the damn. Hold on, but stuff is loading mad slow. Please allow me. Listen, hold on, y'all. Wait, don't go anywhere yet. Wait, hold on. Say that. We're at 341 subscribers. we're at almost at 350. The holiday break was very, very fruitful to us. There was a lot of good stuff that came through. Y'all was rocking with the reactions and stuff. We got a lot more content to come through that stuff. I might have a, you know what I'm saying, a couple of loosies in terms of one-off stories, gameplays. You know what I'm saying? We want to have guests back on the pod in full swing this year. There's a lot of stuff that we want to get done. So make sure you tap in and support all the channels. We're taking this stuff to new levels, man. We want you to be there with us along for the ride. And yeah, we appreciate it, man. We want y'all to, you know what I'm saying, really enjoy what we got and get involved as well. The comments, if there's stuff you want to see us cover, there's, you know, things that that might not have much coverage out there in the space that you think we might be well equipped to do, shoot, let us know, man. Let us know. We gonna be here. So make sure you do all that. Check out all the podcast platforms and audio, you know what I'm saying, sites that we're on to go support, rate it 5 stars and all that good stuff. And without further ado, we gonna call it that and get up out of here, man. This has been No Cooldown Podcast, episode 81, the first of 2024, baby. We are here. But for now, we're out of here. Peace.